in my head. I don't know how to cope with this. I'm keeping secrets in my head, or any space you can find. Glad to see that I can help make your life a bit easier. But have you ever thought of how I felt? You need to think about your behavior.
Yes, indeed. It's the beginning of the week. It's Sunday, and it's time for another edition of Butch On Sports. Simply Butch is here. And as always, boys and girls, ladies and gents, thanks for tuning in. Yes, indeed. Thanks for tuning in on this Sunday edition of Butch On Sports. Just fading in and out for you here, doing some things that you just can't get enough of, including giving you some sports news that I'm quite sure you want to hear. Really. Really you do. Let's get started. Okay. A lot of stuff here. For every team. Major team especially here. And some other cute things as well. The Kansas City Chiefs played when biggest play for them to go ahead in Sunday's game was when Bashar Breezeland recovered a Kewan Johnson fumble and returned it 100 yards to take advantage of everyone on the field, including the Detroit Lions, who was not paying attention to good stuff. Everybody stopped on the field and did not hear a whistle. But did that stop Breeland? No! He started running and running until he heard a whistle blow, and that was no time soon. The officials went to instant replay just to make sure the fumble was legal. And Kewan Johnson did fumble it. Breeden picked it up and ran 100 yards. That was, to me, the key of the game. The Lions not paying attention to detail. All the hype and excitement, and I was pointing fingers and the boo-hoo-hoo and a 1, 2, 3, 4, but didn't get it done when they should have had. Kansas City takes the lead. However, the Lions did fall back. He threw a 6-yard touchdown pass to Kenny Galladay with 2 minutes and 26 seconds left to give the Detroit Lions a 30-27 lead. Of course, this is the Detroit Lions where anything and everything has happened. The last 2 games they have been very fortunate as, yes, against the Chargers and yes, against Philadelphia. The defense in the last minute had prowess and saved the day. But this was Kansas City. A nuclear great offensive team. When they get the football, they can do many, many things with it. And they show why they are a great offensive team. Indeed. Of course, I said Kenny Galladay did catch the ball. It was controversial, too, as a lot of doggone instant replays and challenges were had. Galladay had both feet in bounds. The last foot was dragging, just barely dragged the floor of the Detroit Lions end zone. And it was the touchdown. And they thought maybe he got overturned. Kansas City Chiefs, that is, didn't get by review. It appeared. But Kenny Galladay did have a touchdown overturned in an earlier edition where he appeared to lose control of the football as it hit the turf. But Kansas City, the team that they are. However, Darrell Williams ran for a go-ahead 1-yard touchdown run with 23 seconds left in his second score in the fourth quarter, lifted the Kansas City Chiefs to a 34-30 win over the Detroit Lions. Defense. This is a team, or a game, I should say, that was proud to say the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions, that is, should have won the game. They did. They really, seriously, they outplayed the Kansas City Chiefs. They outplayed them indeed, but did not win the game. Big reason, Detroit on offense, on many occasions, in the red zone, or close, did not capitalize on scoring opportunities that were given to them or they had earned. On defense, it was plenty fumbles. Kansas City, Detroit, both teams, plenty fumbles. Plenty great plays on defense, especially Detroit Lions being aggressive. Did I say aggressive on offense? Yes, I can. Matthew Stafford running up the middle a couple times in the game, gaining first downs or close to it. Running up the middle, something I have talked about time in and time out in the past. Matthew Stafford, hopefully he's heard it, because he did it today and was very successful on it. However, when it came down to getting down to the red zone and making a touchdown, running the ball, was not in their future on many occasions. And when they should have threw the ball or had room to do so, did not take that encouragement to do. The Lions must work on finding ways of scoring the ball and being creative with it at best. They haven't. They haven't indeed. So, Detroit Lions are 2-1. And they're now on taking a break. They're now taking a break for a bye week before they come back and play again. It's just too bad. By the way, Detroit Lions rookie tight end T.J. Hawkinson slammed his head hard on the fourth field turf on a play that I don't know why he did. He made a great catch, a catching the ball from Matthew Stafford, a 9-yard pass from Stafford late in the third quarter at the Kansas City 8-yard line, and he hurdled for whatever reason, I don't know. Maybe it geeked him up again. The geek factor in the game there. Wow. The Kansas City defender knocked him on his rear end. Something silly. Hawkinson watched his head hit that ground, also his right shoulder. And I saw his head bounce off the field. To me, Hawkinson appeared to put himself in harm's way. That's in my opinion. With a dangerous leaping attempt that wasn't even responsive or being responsible. We'll find out how long. He has 2 weeks to kind of get himself together and recover. Hawkinson, that is. Because again, the Lions have a bye. I'm quite sure we'll talk more, or maybe not, about Detroit Lions and some things I will have to kind of bench over and talk about. But I won't editorialize on that right now with Detroit Lions here. But we'll keep moving on here. A 5-3 loss to the White Sox on Sunday afternoon at Guaranteed Rate Field. Whoever made that name, I really, truly, I've heard a lot of things. A stadium called Guaranteed Rate Field. What's guaranteed about it? Detroit Tigers going things they got guaranteed on that the 2019 season is officially over. on another cloudy day in Chicago, the the Tigers, no better, finished this season with 47 wins, 114 losses, and 90 a partridge in a pear tree. The record is the worst in baseball, the second worst in franchise history, and 5-3 loss. Rookie right-hander Spencer Turnbull was the pitcher today. 3-17. My goodness. Capped his debut season with 3 earned runs, with 4 hits in 5.5 innings. Turnbull struck out 7 batters and walked only 1. He allowed an unearned run in the bottom of the first inning. He kind of cruised to the bottom of the 6th, and that's when he got in trouble again. Coughed up the lead that they had, the Tigers that is, with 3 hits. Tiger bring righty Dave McKay in to relieve Trumbull, and promptly he allowed a 2-run homer to Wellington Castillo. And that was it, boys and girls. That was it. We'll talk about that maybe Wednesday too, the Detroit Tigers. Season over and everything. We'll recap it to the best of my ability for maybe a good 10 minutes. And some change I might add. I might add some change to that. But some things that maybe need to happen for the Detroit Tigers to show some progression, because the fans should show their appreciation this year. And I'm quite sure Alan Villa did not appreciate the season being this worse. Yes, you get a first-round draft choice, but that first-round draft choice won't mean nothing if they don't play the person that they draft the next season in the pro uniform. I'm just saying that. I don't say that now. I'll be saying that to draft time. That's next year. Of course, there were some firings. We know Gardenhire of the Detroit Tigers didn't get fired, although there may be conversation at the end of the season, which it is now. The Pittsburgh Pirates fired Clint Hurdle after his second half collapse. And John Madden last night after the game with the St. Louis Cardinals, Cubs at that time beating the St. Louis Cardinals, I do believe, final score of 8-6. Had a meeting last night after the game. Him and Theo Epstein. And at that time, John Madden decided that he was not coming back. However, the man that he is, he went on ahead, and after he said he was not coming back, he did coach his final game, or manage his final game with the Cubs. Yes, John Madden, 4 consecutive playoff appearances and managing in the Cubs, or managed the Cubs to their first World Series in more than a century of 100 years, and you just can't figure out what a century is. However, that wasn't enough for Theo Epstein. The Cubs are Madden 65 years old. He decided to part ways. Like I said, this happened last Saturday night after the game in St. Louis. They had a meeting. At that time, Madden decided, screw you, Theo. I'm quite sure, I wasn't in there when he said that, or if he said that, but I'm quite sure Madden had a little pride, because I don't think after 5 years, which his contract, by the way, did expire this year, for all that man has done with that team, you would expect a little bit more respect. But again, Theo Epstein is the guy of his word. He allowed that contract to go through. And some good years to have, but the last 2 years of Cubs just wasn't too cool. And so he gets thrown out in the street. Okay. Now, what can you say about that? Detroit Red Wings today assigned the following people: Turner Elson, Matt Plumer, Michael Rasmussen, Dominic Turgeon. Those are our forwards. Defenseman Joe Hickey, Brian Lashoff, Dylan McGrath, Maurice Sedan, and goaltender Flip Larson and Calvin Pickard to the American Hockey League Grand Rapids Griffin. And later this afternoon, also assigned forward Chris Terry to the American Hockey League Grand Rapids Griffin team to finish the preseason off of Saturday's loss to Toronto. Yes, the preseason for the Red Wings was 3-3-3. 3-3-3. The Red Wings roster is now at 25 players, 14 forwards, 9 defensemen, 2 goaltenders, and the regular season roster will give it to you this upcoming Wednesday. I tell you, Giovanni Smith on Friday night came back to tie the game for the Red Wings. It's also the night before got cut, and he was sent also to Grand Rapids with some other steady-going players as well. So Grand Rapids should be a pretty good hockey team this year with the players they're sending up there. Because the majority of the players there right now, they're primed to come down here somewhere sooner or later for the Red Wings this season, barring injuries, screw-ups, or whatever it may be. I don't think General Manager Steve Yzerman is going to be very patient about allowing stupidity to stick around. There are some players who are ready to go at it and have at it and put up some guts for the Red Wings to be a better team this year. And hopefully that will be so. Red Wings will begin their 2019-20 regular season schedule with back-to-back games. First on Saturday, October the 5th against the Nashville Predators, prior to their home opener on Sunday, October the 6th, versus the Dallas Stars Sunday night. Sunday night hockey in Detroit, boys and girls. Next week. Yes. Red Wings also was something sad this past Thursday. Red Wings were saddened, and I am very much so sad because I met this guy later on when I came to start covering the Red Wings in 1999. Nick Polano passed away Thursday at the age of 78 years of age. Polano spent 3 seasons as a head coach, assistant general manager of the Detroit Red Wings from 83 to 85. He served solely as the team assistant general manager for 7 additional seasons from 85 to 92. He was part of the front office led by Jimmy Delorano and Brian Murray of the Detroit Red Wings, transitioning from a team that had missed the playoffs 12 of 13 seasons from 1970 to 83 to a team that qualified for the playoffs 7 of the next 9 seasons, and that stretch includes 3 regular season North Division championships in 88, 89, and 92, as well as the first 2 seasons that will become part of the 25 consecutive playoff berths for the franchise between 1991 and 2016. That was remarkable. Nick Polano was hired by Jimmy Delorano shortly after my parents, Mike and Marion Illich, purchased the team in 1982. That was Red Wings governing president and CEO Christopher Illich said that. He played to prove a Red Wings historic role at the time with the club, and his many contributions helped propel this franchise to the franchise of greatness during those particular years, especially those 25 years of playoffs and ramifications and Stanley Cup victories, 4 of them. Great times. Great times indeed. Oh boy. We'll miss Nick Polano. We'll miss him indeed. He was a great guy to have around the Red Wings, and a great guy who gave a lot of information to me as a person, when I first came here, was always friendly, very, very accommodating when I needed to get information there. What made the Red Wings a class organization when it comes down to helping out. And I've had my times with them as well. The Red Wings, indeed. When I first came here to Detroit, as a young little buck here, or as a young reporter from the West Coast here. But, he kind of settled it down to make transition for me in the city of very easy. And Nick Polano was very good at that, helping me out a great deal. You got to fight for your rights in this town. Polano told me here. And you can't let nobody screw you around for what you're entitled to do. That's come in there and give the relevant facts of what happened in the game. You owe that. He said you are the voice of many who can't stand in this locker room. So you better do your job and do it well. That's what he told me. And I listened and took heed to those words. Nick Polano died at 78 years of age. Will be missed by me and many hockey professionals and fans in the general Detroit area, state of Michigan, and the hockey world all around. Detroit Pistons announced that their media day will be tomorrow, held Monday, September the 30th at the Palace Practice Facility, Pistons Practice Facility in Auburn Hills, because they have not yet moved downtown, down the street, down the road a piece, near Henry Ford Hospital, their new practice facility that is not available yet. Yes, the media be there to ask questions to senior advisor and to the owner, Nick Stefanski. Tom Gores will be there. Head coach Dwayne Casey also be available for interviewing, press conferences, and a whole lot of question answering of what he think of this year's team, the Detroit Pistons. How far can they go? What they need to do, and who's going to stay and who's going to go. But that'll be pretty much so the agenda. And also the team will be taking photos and pictures and all the kind of other goodies there. So, yes, press conference tomorrow. Undisputed middleweight world champion and hometown hero Clarissa Shields will be joining forces with the corporate sponsors Iron Road and her promoter Salida Promotions to honor representatives for several youth area groups at her upcoming World Championship fight on October 5th, which is next week at Dorn Federal Event Center in Flint, Michigan. Nearly 300 children and youth chaperones from 6 different groups, including Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Flint, the Genesee County YMCA of Greater Flint, Sylvester Brooms Empowerment Village Boys and Girls Club of Greater Flint in partnership with She Is Youth Empowerment Group, Gen Youth, and also Clarissa's Shields community program will be introducing those particulars in the crowd in attendance recognized by the community during Shields' historic 10-round homecoming for historic showdown with former world champion Ivina Hasbatsky for the WBO okay, junior middleweight world championship for women. In her first professional fight in the hometown of Flint, the 24-year-old Shields, who is 9-0 and 2 knockouts, will be looking to become the fastest fighter in boxing, male or female, to become a 3-division world championship by defending the number 1 ranking. Habasa is 20-3. She has 7 knockouts. She's from Croatia. Well, that should be a pretty good one indeed. And by the way, that fight will be shown, the headline fight, on Showtime Boxing Special Edition, 9 p.m., 6 p.m. on Central, on the coast there. televised, or the telecast will feature undefeated Saginaw, Michigan's heavyweight prospect Jermaine Franklin, who is 19 and zip, 13 knockouts. He'll be facing Czech Republic's once beaten Pavel Sauer, who's 11 and 1 with 6 knockouts. An unbeaten weatherweight prospect, Jaron Boots Enos, who's 23 and zip, 21 knockouts, taking on Argentina's Demaran Daniel Fernandez, who is 12-1 with 5 knockouts. Pretty good lineup indeed for next week's fight. You heard me, I'm drinking out of a gallon bottle of water. It was sure as refreshing. Let me move on. Last week, I said last Wednesday we talked about some high school sports, mainly football. However, I didn't do it, and I am very apologetic for it. But for you downriver fans out there who listen to this podcast, here are some final scores that I'll give you. Dearborn Heights Robichaud and Melvindale got together. Dearborn Heights 42 to zip over Melvindale. Garden City was over Dearborn Heights Crestwood by a score of 21-14. Redford Thurston over Dearborn Heights Ammonapolis 52 to zip. Yes, Redford Union beat Romulus by a final score of 33 to 14. Allen Park and Brownstown Woodhaven got together. Brownstown Woodhaven beat Allen Park by a score of 21 to 20. Yes, indeed, Ethel Ford, Dearborn Ethel Ford, was beaten down pretty doggone bad by Gibraltar by a final score of 49 to 13. Lincoln Park, their homecoming. Do you mean the better? It rained during the doggone parade. I know. Wyandotte Roosevelt was their opponent. Wyandotte Roosevelt beat the crap out of them by a score of 41 to 13. Southgate Anderson is a pretty good team this year. They beat Royal Oak by a score of 19 to 14. And Taylor lost to Trenton by a score of 46 to 22. Those are some scores I gave you there, and I always will have more than less. Let's make Sunday high school football reflection day. And if I can get some stuff on in, early on that particular Wednesday, when we do the Wednesday show, I'll make sure I make an attempt to do it as well then, too. Okay? These kids could be doing a whole heck of a lot of things. Please, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get on out there and support these kids at their games via the varsity route, junior varsity, middle school, 7th grade, 6th grade, elementary, Pop Warner, junior league, elementary. Get out there and support them today. They can be doing a whole heck of a lot of doggone bad things, but they choose to do some athletics there. And also some volleyball ladies there, and ones who play tennis, and run cross country, and play soccer. Get out there and support those gamers, those young men and young ladies who going out there and doing some things, extracurricular activities, I should say, but a great balance in their high school and their childhood education. Okay, let's do that for them, please. Let's do that. Hey, that ends another show of Butch On Sports. Why not, huh? Why not? Butch On Sports is always there's a presentation of Oh My Darling Productions. I let you know that Butch On Sports, you can always catch it on Facebook. Go to Butch On Sports on Facebook for the latest podcast. You can also go to Podomatic. Type in SIMPLYBUTCHTOO.podomatic.com. You can also listen to our show on the game, sportsshow.podbean.com. On that beautiful site. Also, I'm on the game on Mondays. Normally I go on about 7 o'clock here lately here. I'm protesting that, of course. And with some other thing. But you can catch me on the show along with Scott Nason, Dave McKay, EJ Russell, and a host of other things here. You know what? And a pretty good doggone good show indeed on ESPN 1400 in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan there. Again, boys and girls, we found out that if you're using Windows Media Player, you should be able to get that particular broadcast. If you're using that format, if you have a Mac, I am still pitching the connection to the management staff there that they got to be a little bit diverse in allowing those Mac machines to accept their show live from 6 to 8 o'clock. That's all I can say. Hey, y'all have a good doggone beginning of the week here. We'll be back here on Wednesday, boys and girls. Have at it, and baseball season is over.